So here's the deal. So we have this continuing resolution vote that is supposed to be up right now or soon in the Senate. So last night we went through the vote and Dems, for the most part, held the line. Obviously, we don't have the numbers that we need on the House side. So right now, what we need you to do is we need you to apply pressure to the Senate. Listen, we need to tell the Senate Democrats that it's time for them to show up and show out for the people. Now, what does it mean? If they hold the line, then the federal government may shut down. And I know that there are those that are concerned and saying things like, well, if the government shuts down, then they're going to blame the Democrats. They blame the Democrats for everything. Right now, the stock market is crashing. And guess what? They want to try to blame Joe Biden. They're going to blame us for everything that goes wrong in their life because they refuse to connect with reality. But the reality is that we have somebody that is driving our country into the ground in every single way possible, while at the same time deciding that he's going to sell Teslas on the White House lawn, while everybody else, or I guess he was selling and buying. Not really sure what all he was doing, but he was definitely promoting, which our ethics rules don't allow us to do, but that's a whole other story. So if the government shuts down, then one of my questions is, are they allowed to still fire people? In my opinion, if we're shut down, you can't be fired. And what does that mean? It does mean that people will not be paid, but it does mean that they will get their back pay. So hopefully we can stop some of the bleeding. We just saw that the Department of Education laid off 50% of their workforce. So I don't really understand why anybody would say, oh, we got to take the high road. Listen, he is decimating the federal government. And you're talking about whether or not we're going to keep the doors open. He literally is shutting down departments anyway. But here are the things that we're going to lose. So if your specific district had a member that went out and got community projects for some of these nonprofit organizations, as well as some of their governmental agencies, then those things, they go away. Why? So that Elon Musk and Donald Trump can have more latitude than they're supposed to be. A continuing resolution is literally supposed to be like, oh, this is just to carry me over. It is not supposed to be us completely skipping the appropriations process. And this is the only time that the Democrats in the Senate can actually say, hey, we're going to filibuster. We're going to raise that threshold to 60 votes, right? It's the only time. If they actually go through the appropriations process, then it's only a 50 vote majority. And that way we know exactly line by line where monies are supposed to go. In addition to that, this is really our only leverage because they're going to enter into reconciliation here shortly. And when they enter into reconciliation, that is where they are going to try to do the things such as get rid of Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. So this is a matter of leverage. Right now, this is our only chance to negotiate. We don't have a filibuster on the House side. So what I need y'all to do is I need y'all calling them Democrats. Because I know Republicans going to do what Republicans do. But I need y'all calling those Democrats and saying, listen, there is no reason for you to acquiesce. There is no reason for you to decide that you are going to stand with somebody that you told us was a dictator, with somebody that you told us was a threat. So anything that you do by just rolling over is giving him more of that power. So listen, the power belongs to the people. So please, please, please get on those phones, make those calls, and make your voices heard. Because they want to tell us stuff like, oh, well, you know, we may lose the next election. You never know what may happen. But I can tell you this. He shut the government down twice, and for some reason, the country decided that he needed to be elected again. He also oversaw over 1 million deaths during the midst of COVID, yet for some reason, people saw, listen, you can't worry about the future. You can only worry about the present, and you need to make sure that people understand that right now in this continuing resolution, there are going to be at least a shortage of over 30,000 housing vouchers, 30,000 within the country. Now, consider the fact that people are losing their jobs. I can tell you that it's going to be even more than that. That is based on what we currently have. There's going to be a shortage of 30,000. For everybody that says they love the veterans and that kind of stuff, all the money for burn pit survivors and things like that, guess what? That money, they're cutting that money out. Some of the hardline Republicans decided, you know what, we're going to vote for this because they are zeroing out things. This is not what we call a clean CR. This is not keeping all the levels at the same pace. That's not what it is. So that's what I got for y'all.